Assalamu alaikum, my liewe dierbare kinders. Vandag doen ons 'n baie belangrike les. So, maak seker dat jou ore oop is. Jy sit regop op die stoel en luister mooi na my stem. Hierdie les is oor woordorde. En ek is seker dat jy het verlede jaar van Stompi gehoor. Woordorde beteken word order in a sentence. Met ander woorde, sinkonstruksie, sentence construction. Wat is die Stompi reël? Nou, die groot letters soos S, T, O, M, P en I is die groot mense in 'n familie. Hulle is almal familielede. So the big alphabets like S, T, O, M, P and I are the big people, the elders in a family, like the father, the mother, the brother, the big brother, the grandmother, the auntie, and the uncle. And the small letters, die klein letters, the V1 and V2, are the children in the family. Now, isn't the children like to play outside? But whenever they play outside, they need to be under supervision, or they need to be protected by one of their family members. So imagine all of these alphabets are in a circle, okay? And V1 is protected by the S, and V2 is protected by the I. So on the edge of the circle is our first alphabet and our last alphabet. And before the last alphabet is V2, and after the first alphabet is V1. So you can also say that the two children, V1 and V2, are always fighting with each other. So the family members try to keep V1 and V2 as far away from each other as possible. So the subject, the S, we can say that's the father, is holding V1 with him, so he doesn't go and fight with V2. And we can say I, the mother, is holding V2 with her, so she doesn't go and fight with V1. And in between is all the other family members. Okay. Now, what do each of these family members represent? Let's learn about that. Nou, wat is Stompi? Of S, V1, Tomp, V2, I? Die Stompi reël represents the following in a sentence. S, which is the subject, in Afrikaans sê ons die onderwerp. The subject or the onderwerp in a sentence is who or what is doing the action. So in this example, I will say Uwais. A boy named Uwais is doing the action. V1 represents verb 1. Die eerste werkwoord. Now, when it comes to the verb, it's very important to determine the tense of the sentence. So, what tense is the sentence in? We have 3 different tenses. Present tense, past tense en future tense. Present tense is teenwoordige tyd, past tense is verlede tyd en future tense is toekomende tyd. Okay. So, if the sentence is in present tense in teenwoordige tyd, then skop Uwais kicks, skop would be my verb. But if the sentence is in verlede tyd or toekomende tyd, in verlede tyd we replace the verb with the word het and we move the verb to the end of the sentence. In toekomende tyd we replace the verb with the word sal and we move the verb to the end of the sentence. So these words het and sal will become verb 1. Then we have T, which stands for time. Time in Afrikaans is tyd. And that tells you when something is happening, okay, or going to happen, or something happened. In this case, elke dag, every day. Then we have the O, which is object. In Afrikaans sê ons voorwerp. Who or what is the action happening to? This case, the ball, die bal. The next one is M. M is manner. In Afrikaans sê ons manier. That is how something is happening. So in this case, vinnig, which is fast. Then we have P, which is place. In Afrikaans sê ons plek. Where, sorry, not when, it's supposed to be where something happens. Waar het iets gebeur. So in this case, were die pale over the poles. And then we have V2. Now V2 only applies to sentences that are in the past tense or in the future tense. So remember when we moved the verb to the end of the sentence and we gave it a ge? Or in future tense when we move the verb to the end of the sentence and left it like that? That verb becomes verb 2. And then we have infinitive, I. In Afrikaans, infinitief. When you have the words om and te in a sentence, it actually means that you are adding additional information to the sentence. So the words between om and te or after om te are words that don't fall into any of the previous categories. So they're not S, they're not V1, they're not T, they're not O, they're not M, they're not P, they're not V2. Those are all the infinitives. Okay? Then, what you do is you put all your words in the correct order. So, put the S first, then V1, then T, then O, then M, then P, then V2, and then I. And that is a sentence using the correct construction. Met ander woorde, Uwys skop elke dag die bal vinnig oor die pale om te wen. Or you can say, Uwys het elke dag die bal vinnig oor die pale geskop om te wen. You can also say, Uwys sal elke dag die bal vinnig oor die pale skop om te wen. Now let's do an activity. Die woorde in die volgende sinne is deur mekaar. Span hulle in om 'n goeie sin te vorm. Oh, and in your worksheet above the activity, I just gave you some revision notes on the tenses, that is present tense, past tense, and future tense. We did do that before, so you can read through the notes on your own. Nommer 1. So in this activity, I've given you sentences where the words are all jumbled up. It's not in the correct sentence construction. If I have to read this as a sentence, Juffrou die geskryf op het vanoggend bord die, it makes no sense at all. So what you need to do now is, you need to determine what part of Stompi is each of the words in the sentence. So let's start like this, right? Juffrou. Juffrou is teacher. Obviously now, if I'm talking about a teacher, then that would be my subject. Okay? D. D has to join to another word because I can't just say D like that. D is actually a lid word. Remember, and D? They're not part of Stompi. So, can it be die geskryf? No. Die op? No. Die et? No. Die vanoggend? No. So, it's going to be die bord. The board. The board is an object. Then the word geskryf. It has ge joined to a verb. Wrote. Now, because it has ge, I know that this sentence is a sentence in past tense. And we learned that in past tense, the verb moves to the end and it becomes verb to. Op, on. So that is a place where she wrote. She wrote on the board. That would be P. Hat, we learned that in past tense, hat replaces the verb and it becomes verb 1. And vanoggend, that is this morning. There is a time period in the day. So it would be T. Now, if I have to put my sentence in correct order of Stompi, it would be Juffrou het vanoggend op die bord geskryf. And a full stop at the end of the sentence. I hope that makes sense. We will have a Zoom lesson sometime next week where we're going to redo Stompi and you can ask me questions there. You have to complete the rest of the activity is homework today.